Welcome to the Geography Department. This short video will give you some further information on what it's like studying geography at Godalming College. We have 4 very experienced geography teachers in the department. Debbie is Head of Geography, I'm Alison, the leader of Year 1, and we also have Lorna and Gail. All of us have degrees in geography and are passionate about our subject. Geography A-level is divided into physical and human topics, and you will have 2 different teachers. One will teach you the human topics and one the physical ones. In total, there are 6 different topics, 3 of which are physical and 3 human. In the first year of the course, you'll be taught the physical topics of coasts and the 2 human topics of changing places and contemporary urban environments. In the second year, the 2 physical topics of hazards and water and carbon are taught, and in human, the topic of global systems and governance. In the first year, you'll also start working on your NEA, which is essentially a piece of coursework, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. The topic of changing places focuses on the changes of place and how this impacts on people's perceptions and their experience of a place. We look at 2 major case studies, Stratford in London before and after the Olympic Games, and Detroit in the USA. Detroit was once a thriving city, the world car manufacturing capital and famous for its Motown music. But due to foreign competition, the city went into a very rapid recession. Today, it's the murder capital of the USA, and the population's decreased from 1.8 million to 700,000. Good news is, though, that if you want to buy a property, it'll only cost you $1. Contemporary urban environments covers a wide range of urban issues, from climate to sustainable cities. The central image shows a public transport system in Curitiba, Brazil, and this is one of the case studies that you will do. Rather than build an expensive underground system, they've created bus lanes. The cylindrical tube to the left of the bus is a boarding platform. The platform and buses replicate the rapid boarding that you would see on a tube train, with multiple entrances and exits for speedy boarding. Another case study is one of river restoration. The image of the river is in South Korea. This river was once covered over by a congested and polluted highway. They've removed the highway now and restored it so it's now a pleasant place to visit and environmentally more friendly. In coasts, we look at the major case study of the Holderness Coast, Europe's fastest eroding coastline. Some of you may recognise Flama Head in the images there. We also look at the case study of Odisha in India. You can see from the satellite image that it's a region of the world that experiences tropical cyclones. You will study the impacts of these and what can be done to reduce the effects that they can have. The beautiful image to the top right of the screen is one of the islands of Kiribati. Sea level rise is having a massive impact on the population living here, and the whole community are soon to become environmental refugees. The country of Fiji, 2,000 miles away though, have offered them land that they can settle on so the communities can stay together. In Year 2, you start the year studying hazards. The topics of earthquakes and volcanoes will be familiar to many of you who have studied geography at GCSE. However, we also look at wildfires and storms. The wildfire that you can see in the image is of Alberta in Canada, and the city badly flooded is New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina. Following this, you study water and carbon, looking in detail at the cycles of both of these and the causes of change. The graph shows how CO2 levels have fluctuated over the last 400,000 years, between 180 and 300 parts per million. Since the Industrial Revolution, these levels have risen substantially, and today CO2 levels are currently reading at 413 parts per million. We look at the impact this is having on our planet and what could be done to reduce our CO2 emissions and to potentially capture more CO2 from the atmosphere and store it on the land and in the seas. Global systems and governance focuses on political and economic geography. One of the major case studies you will study is Antarctica. As you can see from the image, despite it being located in the southern hemisphere and far from Europe and Russia, many countries have staked a claim on the land and the vast resources which can be found below the ice. We are a world interconnected in so many ways, and this topic explores many of the opportunities and issues that this brings. "20% of your final mark consists of the NEA, which is essentially a piece of coursework. You get to choose what you do your investigation on, what data collection techniques you will use, and how you present your data. And in order to do this, you will go on a series of fieldwork trips that will give you a range of ideas and teach you the relevant skills. These trips will cover both physical and human content, with the physical content focusing on the coast and the human content focusing on trips to Godalming and to Guildford. Developing exam technique is also an essential part of the course, and over the course of the first year, you'll have numerous opportunities to practice and learn, and you can see from the screen the typical assessment schedule which we follow. We also run weekly lunchtime support sessions, which consist of a variety of exam technique sessions and also specification content. You can also use these sessions as a drop-in to ask any specific questions that you might have about a piece of work that you are doing. Our goal in the department is to make sure that you have all the resources and support you need to be successful in this subject, but also to make it fun and interesting. I hope that you found this short video helpful, and we look forward to hopefully meeting you in person next term.